Welcome to my intro to BFRBs. So on my YouTube channel, if you didn't know already, I have an entire playlist. I call it my BFRB series because I'm bland. So without further ado, this is my brief introduction to body-focused repetitive behaviors. First and foremost, what differentiates a BFRB from a bad habit? For example, brushing your teeth every morning and night is a good habit. A bad habit would be before every midterm you take, you just bite the hell out of your nails. But people living with BFRBs, they relapse pretty often. Anichitophagia is the BFRB, which describes obsessive-compulsive nail biting. You probably don't want to take my word for this, but I would assume that someone with anichitophagia relapses every day. Body-focused repetitive behaviors is also known as BFRDs, not BFRDs nuts. Body-focused repetitive disorder. All BFRBs, that itself is an umbrella term, but all BFRBs fall under the category of OCD, obsessive-compulsive disorder, therefore making every person with at least one BFRB neurodivergent. And I'll create an entire video on the difference between neurodivergent, neuroatypical, and neurotypical. I want y'all to know that literally anyone can have a BFRB. It doesn't matter what's your religion, race, gender, sexuality, age, anyone can have it. And you probably know multiple people who have at least one BFRB. It doesn't really matter what time in your life you develop one, if you ever develop one. Some people, they have a BFRB for 10 years. Some people, they develop one BFRB when they're 7 and then they grow out of it when they're 10, but when they were 9 years old, they developed a different BFRB, and with that BFRB, they struggle with it for the next 20 years. Everyone in the BFRB community, we all have very different stories, but it's the BFRB that ties us all together. Some BFRB members have jewelry or toys. We might buy these toys that we fiddle around with and we put our hands in. The sole purpose of these items is to prevent us from relapsing. This does not only apply to BFRBs, but relapse has a different meaning for everyone. Keep that in mind. I, myself, don't own any toys or jewelry to distract myself with, but I do occasionally use the glove method, in which I wear gloves to prevent myself from pulling out my hairs because I have trichotillomania, which is the most common BFRB. I have an entire video on BFRB vocabulary, link in the description box below. Please watch this entire video before you click on any other links. There are many different methods to recovering from BFRBs. I can't list all of them from the top of my head. If you want to be a good supporter of someone with a BFRB, please do not slap them, do not hit them, do not scold someone if they relapse in front of you or if they relapse at all. Negative reinforcement, generally speaking, is rarely better than positive reinforcement. The difference between negative reinforcement and positive reinforcement is that negative reinforcement relies on things like punishments and humiliation, whereas positive reinforcement relies on things like rewards for being good. I'm in the works of making a do's and don'ts BFRB edition video. Researchers haven't gathered much evidence to pinpoint the cause of BFRBs, in my personal opinion, but I highly doubt that there's only one cause. There are plenty of bloggers on Blogspot, WordPress, Tumblr, etc., created by people who are members of the BFRB community. They blog about their experience and whatnot. There are also many organizations you can reach out to, like TLC.org, trick.org. I'll put an extensive list in the description box below and create an entire video on that. I will put a few YouTube channels to check out in the description box below. Please, for the love of all things good, do not use the terms trichotillomania and BFRB interchangeably. It's like using the words Chinese and Asian interchangeably. It just doesn't work. Please don't do it. Just because someone tells you that they're a member of the BFRB community, do not automatically assume that they have every BFRB in existence. Every single year in the first week of October, there is something called BFRB Week. It used to be known as Trichotillomania Week, and the BFRB ribbon is a green and navy ribbon, but it used to be known as the Trichotillomania ribbon. I agree with Trick Journal. I oppose the concept of merging all BFRBs together. Let's just say every single Asian nationality word was eliminated from the English language. The only word Asian people could use is Asian. That'd be awful! Because whenever a person would tell you, hey, I'm Asian, Asian, that does not automatically mean they're indigenous to every Asian country, right? It's the same thing with trying to use the words trichotillomania and BFRB interchangeably, or trying to merge all BFRBs together. It just doesn't work. If you try to turn trichotillomania issues into something broader and less specific, you are taking away from trichotillomaniacs. You are reducing and increasing simultaneously the stigma that tricksters face. It's like when people command others, don't say Black Lives Matter, say all lives matter. It exacerbates the prejudice that a certain demographic of people face. So do I celebrate BFRB week every year? Hell yeah. I personally believe that BFRB week should be a month-long thing. Every week should be dedicated to 2 BFRBs. How about that? I'm so thankful that there are websites that can help members of the BFRB communities, and that the websites are specific and explicit about what BFRB they specialize in. Like trick.org. It really depends on what kind of BFRB content you're looking for. When it comes to YouTube versus Tumblr, there are probably more Tumblr blogs than YouTube channels that are actively participating in BFRB discussions. If you're looking for BFRB content that is really intimate and personal, I guess has a timeline, for lack of better words, I would suggest sticking to subscribing to YouTube channels based on BFRB videos. Trick Journal is my personal favorite Trichotillomania YouTube channel. But if you just want to connect with as many people in the BFRB community as possible in a short period of time, visit BFRB blogs on Tumblr. Unfortunately, many of the BFRB blogs on Tumblr haven't been updated in years. It's a sad, sad world we live in. But the thing about Tumblr is, even if a blog hasn't been used in years, it still exists. You can still read 5 years old posts from anonymous persons who just wanted to share a little tidbit about being a person affected by a BFRB or 2 or more. I noticed that BFRB YouTube channels, they typically give little update videos on hair care products, whereas with BFRB blogs, they typically are like, hey, I found this website of Tangle toys or other distraction jewelry. So I guess if you're interested in what kind of hair products or skin products, nail products, etc. you should use if you are affected by at least one BFRB, I would say stick to the YouTube channels, whereas if you're looking for affordable and high quality spinner necklaces, stick to the blogs. I will create a video what to do if someone reveals to you that they have at least one BFRB. Here's the basic outline. Do not ask them where specifically. It's like if I were to ask you, tell me the place on your body which you feel most insecure about. Because us, BFRB members, we typically relapse on the areas of our bodies which make us most uncomfortable. Please, please thank them for being so open to you about something extremely private, and then ask them, now that I know this part of you, what do you want me to do and say about it, if anything at all? Because it's really hard, if you're a neurodivergent person in general, to let others know what we want them to do and say and not to say and do. This month in October, I propose bring about these issues. Bring more light and awareness to this situation. Try your best to not only focus on trichotillomania. Please show all the other members of the BFRB community who don't have trichotillomania some love. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. It's easiest for me to reach out to you guys when you comment. I'm not a doctor, and a lot of doctors have no idea that BFRBs exist. A lot of people who do have medical professional training, they stigmatize members of the BFRB community. BFRBs aren't in any kind of formal education. There's no college purely set on teaching BFRB curricula. If whatever school you went to miraculously taught you about BFRBs in health class, let me know so I can refer that school to everyone I know, or at least everyone that has a BFRB. Now, I'm not expecting comments on this video of people giving out their entire life story in regards to the BFRB side of their life. If you want to get all personal and intimate in the comment section below, go ahead. To every person with at least one BFRB watching this, I guess here's your trigger warning. I'm telling you right now, there might be comments on this video which you find extremely perturbing. Maybe it's because someone's someone's being a bully, maybe it's because someone is giving a lot of nitty-gritty details in correlation to their BFRB, and I'm not stopping you. Freedom of speech. If you want to comment below where you usually pick, how much pain you feel when you relapse, freedom of speech, go ahead. I would say try not to be too graphic because self-harm is a very triggering topic. Por favor, be respectful of other people's triggers. Nearly every single insecure person, which is like 99% of the human race, has at least one trigger. No matter how outrageous you think someone's trigger is, please be respectful. I have no tolerance for bullies. If you bully people on this video, your comment is going to get deleted and I will block you. Respect is something that's given, not earned. If you give me requests on BFRB videos in the future, that'd be greatly appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, give it a thumbs up anyways. If you knew everything I said in this video, interact with other people through YouTube or social media. Pat yourself on the back if you knew everything that I said in this video. No matter how much or how little knowledge you have in regards to BFRB videos, spread the education. Spread it like a fatal disease. The more the merrier. Number one thing to keep in mind if you're a privileged person, this does not only apply to neurotypicals. Everyone on the planet has at least one privilege. Do not speak over minorities if you're not experiencing the same kind of discrimination that they're facing. Let victims of prejudice voice out their words loud and proud. Lift them up, uplift them. Don't try to steal their spotlight. Know when to shut your mouth. Know when your opinion is irrelevant. The reason why every human being is born with 2 eyes and 2 ears and 1 mouth is because we are supposed to listen and observe twice as more often than we speak. Another general key pointer: respect intersections. Acknowledge intersectionality for the love of all things earthly and humanly. Don't be a white feminist. Please don't erase all of the members of the BFRB community who are considered minorities in other intersections. For example, race, body size, religion, etc. If you're not familiar with the hashtag #DisabilitySoWhite, I guess it counts as a counter movement because it exposes how whitewashed disability representation is in media. Us disabled people of color deserve more representation. I know that Zoe Saldana recently came forth to the general public about her Hashimoto's disease. I'm glad that I have someone like her to represent the disability community. If you know any more disabled people of color, please comment below their names and tell me how they are disabled or how they're neurodivergent or how they're neuroatypical. Even if you don't have any BFRBs now, but you had at least one in the past, let the world know in the comment section below. I'm not gonna force you to do anything you don't want to do. If you want to talk to me only, I always put my social media links in the description box below. You can connect to me there. I am more honest on the internet than I am in real life. Thank you guys so much for watching. Share this video, share my YouTube channel, tell all your friends, tell all your enemies, tell all your frenemies, tell all your relatives. Octopussy says hi. I am a firm supporter of self-diagnosis. For example, if you realized through watching this video, throughout your entire life, you did not necessarily have had a bad habit of chewing your fingernails, that you, in actuality, have anichotillomania, don't be afraid to say that to yourself. I'm not pressuring anyone with a BFRB to come out to their entire family and all of their coworkers about their BFRB. You come out when you want to come out, if ever. But you don't need a professional to diagnose you with BFRBs. Not every person who has attended a college or university primarily focused on health, fitness, wellness, medicine is a good scientist or specialist. There are plenty of terrible therapists out there.